Today we are giving my apartment a reset and early spring refresh. Plus, I'll show you a bunch of unique ways to use and style your thrifted items. So grab a cup of coffee or tea and let's hang out and chat. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I don't know about you, but this winter has been tough for me. It's been especially gray and gloomy, and I'm not just talking about the weather. I've been craving coziness, color, and a cleanup for my home, so today I'm going to refresh my home decor by DIYing a topiary with thrifted items, polishing some silver under Coco's supervision, bring in some spring greenery, and basically reset my home for spring. I'm also going to show you a bunch of unique ways I'm using the items you've seen me thrift. Hopefully it will spark your creativity and help you come up with new uses for old things. Let's start with some common items that we have all seen in the thrift store and probably thrifted. Lidded glass candy bowls. While I'm actually using these as candy dishes, that's not typically how I use them. They are pretty enough to be displayed, so let's use them to hide things that are not, like office supplies. I love hiding functional items inside of vessels that are more aesthetically pleasing, so I have repurposed these candy containers to serve as a home for rubber bands, pens and pencils, matchbooks, and aluminum foil scraps that I use underneath my candles to stabilize them. Let's expand this category to all lidded bowls and containers. I'm currently using them to hide and organize everything from sugar packets left over from coffee runs to hair ties and bobby pins to tissue. These are pretty easy ways to use your thrifted pieces and to style them. I know some people have been turning all sorts of vessels into candles. If you choose to go this route, please be careful as these containers may not be meant to handle open flames, and you'll have to take the proper precautions to safely DIY them. In the bathroom, I use them to hold Q-tips and cotton balls. In my bedroom, I'm looking for a vintage or antique nightstand for my bedroom makeover because I would like a cabinet with a drawer so that I can hide and organize all the things I want within arm's length but don't want to see all the time. For now, I use the glass containers to corral chapstick, earplugs, and hair ties. Okay, stay with me on this next one. I'm not sure if everyone has one of these, but do you remember when I went to Brimfield and I got this coal shuttle? I've been looking for one for a while, so when I found one in good condition and at a good price, I bought it. But I think I was caught up in the thrill of finding it because when I got home, I was like, now what are you going to do with this? Has this happened to you? I hate that feeling because I try to be more mindful when I shop. While you may not have a coal shuttle, maybe you have a similar item like a basket or a pot or even a bowl that you love, but you don't know what to do with it. Well, here are a few ways I'm using my little coal shuttle, and maybe you could use your item like this as well. When I was growing up, we lived in a house that had several floors. Every day, my mom would find things on the first floor that needed to be on the second floor, so she'd create these little piles of things on the bottom of the staircase, and each one of us was supposed to bring our pile up to our room. That's me and my siblings. I hated this so much. I hated seeing my chores piled up and cluttering the staircase. I would have liked it so much better if my socks and books were sitting in a cute coal shuttle or a basket that I could easily grab as I walked up the stairs. I'm always trying to find ways to make chores and errands more enjoyable so that I don't dread them. And this would have been the way, or a way. This is how I actually use my shuttle. At Christmas, I had a ton of battery-powered candles and other lights. Once the batteries were gassed, I needed somewhere to stash them until I could drop them off at a recycling center. So my coal shuttle became their temporary home until I could recycle them. In kind of the same vein as the basket on the bottom of the stairs idea, you can use your coal shuttle as a carrier for cleaning supplies. Since we have the silver polish out, let's clean some silver that I thrifted. Then I'll show you more ways I'm using my thrifted items in my home. I have cleaned silver in a variety of ways, including the one with boiling water and aluminum foil. That's why I have all those scraps everywhere. But today, we're using polish. Am I a professional silver polisher? No. I have a vague memory of my Nana, I think it was my Nana, polishing silver, but you know, when you're that young, your memory, I don't necessarily trust it because it could be mixed in with like me watching like a servant on some like masterpiece theater show that my parents were watching, like watching a servant polish silver, and it's like mixed in with my memories of my grandmother because I was so young. You know, like I never watched, what is that one? Downton Abbey. But I imagine the people that like work, because it's about the rich people and the staff at Downton Abbey. Is that what it's about? I imagine like the staff, you're seeing people polish silver and clean and cook and that kind of stuff, right? Like I said, I'm not a professional. People are probably screaming that I'm doing things wrong here, but I know what has worked for me. And oftentimes I put the silver polish on and I just kind of let it do its thing. Ugh, you guys, one time I was using Barkeeper's Friend on my brass chandelier in my bedroom after I got it from Facebook Marketplace, and it was sitting in a trash bag in this woman's garage. So it was a little bit dirty, a little bit unloved. So I decided to clean it up, and I used the Barkeeper's Friend. And like someone who should know better, I did not wear gloves, and my hands were unbelievably raw. Like for maybe, my skin was peeling off in layers. My hands were so red. And at the time, I wasn't feeling it at all. And the gloves were really keeping me from getting into like the nooks and crevices of the detail on the chandelier. I'll insert a photo so you can see. And I felt like my fingers were really getting in there, and I paid the price. Like, I'm not kidding you. I felt like I had no fingerprints left. So that's my PSA to you. Please wear gloves, because I learned the hard way, and don't do what I did. Ugh. Oh, excuse me. Do you hear Coco whining? Because she wants her blanket on her. Here she goes. Better? Okay, we're back at it now that Coco is resting. So with the silver polish, I put it on. Sometimes I wait a little while to let it work its magic, and then I will buff it with an old rag. This is just an old hand towel that just kind of fell apart, so I started using it as a cleaning rag, and you can see all the gunk that's coming off of you can see it on the rag, but then you can see that it's getting shinier. And then, so after I do one coat, some of these spots are really hard to get off, and they may not come off because of just having damage. But now you can start to see that pretty, can you see the pretty little wreath that's in the middle? I get it as polished as I think I can. Then I wash it and with soap and water, and then I go back over it again with a clean cloth just to polish it and buff it up a little bit more. And then that's usually when I'm done. Similar to the little coal shuttle, I have her mama as well. When I saw her at a tag sale for an unbeatable price, I couldn't let her be a thrift regret. Here are some of the ways I've been using her. I'm currently using her as a paper recycling holder. I think when you love something, you can find ways to use it, ways you didn't expect. And I love that I have continued to find new ways to use this piece. My home is not that big, so ideally I must love whatever comes into my home, and everything has to be useful. It helps me to be mindful about what is coming into my home. On to the next old item you can use for something new. If you're a thrifter, you know the thrift store always has a plethora of teacups, coffee cups, creamers, and sugar bowls. Even if you aren't an avid thrifter, you've probably been gifted a teacup or coffee cup in your life. And how many does a person need? Like one. But they're cute, pretty, have sentimental value, and so you keep them. I've put mine to use as a pencil holder, measuring cup, scooping cup, toothbrush holder, vase, makeup brush holder, and of course, planter. This is a reversible DIY I did for winter. Everything here is thrifted with the exception of the ribbon. It's time to retire her for the season, but I want to try to make a topiary for spring. Remember when I thrifted this urn? I'm going to use her for the topiary planter since I couldn't find a soup tureen or creamer that I liked as much as her. I want this DIY to be reversible and inexpensive, so I'm using thrifted items, stuff I had around my home, and a Dollar Tree purchase. If you watched my last Thrift With Me video, you know that I was looking for soup tureens and creamers to use for a DIY for spring. I wanted to make a topiary. I did not find soup tureen or a creamer that I liked more than the ones I already have, and I'm including this vessel in that grouping, in the sense that I just needed something that would allow me to make a topiary inside of it. I did a little DIY on it where I stripped it and then I had ended up painting it black because I thought I would get something like a little weathered looking, and it really did not. It was just silver on the inside. So I ended up painting it black, and since then I actually went over it with some brown and green paint to give it a little more of a weathered look. I might keep doing that over time since this is not actually going to be out in the elements. The elements won't be able to weather it for me, so I'll have to fake it. I got this at the dollar store. I got these when I was doing the DIY for Halloween, and I literally got these from Ed's house. So here's the vision. Putting this in here. Going to use a stick to be like the topiary's trunk. And then I'm going to fashion a topiary head out of a bunch of these put together. So I didn't want to buy just one large one of these styrofoam balls. Since I have a bunch of these, like, when am I going to use these again? I don't know. So I figured I would make a head out of them, and then I'm actually going to paint them green and brown so that when I cover them with some moss, it might help give it a little bit more dimension. So that is the vision for this DIY. I'm waiting for the hot glue gun to warm up, and I'm going to attach the balls in a little cluster so they make like one big ball here. And then I'll paint the balls and then glue some moss to them, and hopefully they'll look like a little topiary. One ball. Did anyone else hear Samantha Jones when I said that? I have attached all the little balls to give it that big globe shape, and now I'm going to paint it. It is looking a little Dr. Seuss right now, which could be cute. Imagine if you did something like this for Easter, where each one of these was painted a different color, like pastel pink and yellow and peach and blue. That could be like a cute little Easter thing. A cute little Easter DIY. I painted it green and did a little brown. Now I have to wait for it to dry before I can attach the moss. I might, if I had to do this again, I might paint them before I put them on, but I didn't want to paint unnecessarily. Paint some, have too many. I didn't know how many I was going to use. Just painted them once they were attached.
Of course. Hey, can I ask you a strangely personal question? Yeah. How did you know you wanted to be a Buddhist? Great.
Okay, so she's finished. I just attached that moss, the same moss on the bottom, on the top. Now it's time to find where she's gonna live. Every season, I switch out the greenery, pillow covers, hand towels, and other home decor items. I've collected these pieces over time, and I have found that switching them out seasonally, finding new ways to use old items, and putting pieces in new locations around my home makes them feel fresh. These tricks have helped me feel like I have a fresh space with new pieces without actually spending much money, if any money. I also resell items on my Poshmark, so if you see something you like in my home, there might be something similar listed on Poshmark. Most of my pillowcases in this video are from Amazon. Those velvet mauve colored pillowcases are incredibly soft. Coconut has taken to burying her face in them. I once heard a designer say that throw pillow creativity is a dangerous road for us to go down. I get what he was saying, but swapping out covers is an easy way to change up a space. I like switching up my art and my scented candles as well. In the spring, I pack away my balsam and evergreen scents in favor of lighter, more floral smells. I usually forget which holiday candles I've packed away, so it's a nice surprise every year to see what past Megan gifted me. It's a type of self-care, I think, gifting something to future me, setting her up with something I know she'll want and love. Let's take a look at my early spring apartment refresh. Thanks for hanging out with me today. On a good day, creating content for this channel is my second full-time job, and I would like it to be my first and only full-time job. So I appreciate all of your support, whether it's liking, subscribing, commenting, or simply choosing to spend time watching my videos. If you like thrifting, interior design and decorating, DIYs, and want to hang out again, subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. I'll see you next Saturday. Bye!